Hello, it is 9 p.m. in Art. This time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the head of state stays the course, economic growth despite regional instability. A global diplomatic show with South Africa, Russia and Malaysia sound the alarm risks regional instability in Somalia. Welcome to our newsroom. President Gele praises the resilience of Djibouti. President Ismail Gele, in a television address on the occasions of the New Year, commended the country's resilience in facing regional international shocks and crises. Listen for more details.
بسم الله الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. بسم الله الثناء لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
My dear compatriot, as the year 2025 comes to a close, I address you so that we may enter the new year together with optimism, confidence, and hope. My first thought naturally go to the most vulnerable among our fellow citizens, those who face daily hardships, the elderly, and our compatriots affected by illnesses and the vicissitude of life. To all of them, I want to assure that national solidarity remains a core value of our republic, and it will continue to guide public actions to support them. My dear compatriot, the past year has been marked by a complex regional and international context. Persistent tensions in the region, threats to maritime security in the Red Sea, as well as global geopolitical turbulence have all posed challenges for our country. In this unstable environment, our country has managed to make its voice heard in moderation and peace, remaining true to its role as a strategic hub. Djibouti will continue to work for the respect of international law and the inviolability of borders, in accordance with the United Nations Charter and the African Union. Despite this context of turbulence and instability affecting our region, our country has shown resilience. The national economy has continued its growth momentum, supported by structural investments, the development of our infrastructure, and the consolidations of our strategic position in regional and international trade. These results are above all the fruit of collective effort, but also of a long-term vision and governance focused on stability and development. My dear compatriots, as we look to the new year, we do so, as always, with optimism. Our country possesses a considerable asset, a dynamic use, and a strategic position. These assets, among others, provide us with comparative advantages and ensure the competitiveness and dynamism of our economy. They also allow us to meet challenges and turn them into opportunity. My dear compatriots, the coming year will also be an important year for our democracy, with the presidential elections scheduled for April. These major milestones are part of the continuity of the democratic process and good governance, which have proven effective in ensuring institutional stability. This will be the case once again thanks to respect for the laws of the Republic and citizen participation. My dear compatriots, the challenges ahead are many. Foremost among them is the fight against unemployment, particularly among the youth. The government will continue to make this a priority of its public policies by increasing support for entrepreneurship, vocational training, and the productive economy. In the same spirit, we must also overcome challenges related to digital technology. Digital technology offers immense opportunities for our economy in terms of employment, growth, and innovation, but it also carries risks, notably the risk of information disorders that can undermine national cohesion and social harmony. It is our collective responsibility to promote a responsible and ethical use of digital tools in the face of the temptations of manipulation and division. More than ever, we must remember that unite us our shared values, our commitment to peace, tolerance, and mutual respect. The Djiboutian way of life, shaped by history and the diversity of our people, is invaluable wealth that we must preserve and pass on to future generations. At the end of this year, I pay tribute to all those who, through their daily commitment to contribute to the development of our country, defense and security forces, teachers, healthcare professionals, public and private sector workers, and civil society actors. On behalf of the government and in my personal capacity, I extend my sincerest wishes for health, happiness, and success. May the new year be a year of peace and strengthen national unity for our country. Happy New Year to all. The President of the Republic received his congratulatory message from the head of state and government of brotherly and friendly countries on the occasions of the New Year 2026. The President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, received a congratulatory message from head of state and government of brotherly and friendly countries on the occasions of the New Year 2026. These leaders expressed their hope for further development in our country, leading to greater welfare and prosperity for our people. They also They also all praised the valuable support our country provides in facilitating economic exchanges between our regions and other parts of the world. President Gele also received similar messages from leaders of regional, continental, and international organizations expressing their sympathy and friendship toward the Djiboutian people. It is worth noting that the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, had already sent at the break of dawn of the new year congratulatory messages to his counterpart leading brotherly and friendly states, as well as to several prominent foreign friends of Djibouti. On the occasion of the New Year 2026, the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, issued a presidential decree granting a 4-month presidential pardon to individuals detained in the prison of the Republic of Djibouti. This presidential pardon takes effect of December 31, 2025 and applies to 194 prisoners convicted by the Court of the Republic, distributed as follows: 92 prisoners to be released on January 1st, 2026, including 16 foreign nationals who will be repatriated to their countries of origin, and 102 prisoners sentenced to more than 4 months will benefit from a reduction of their sentences by 4 months. Somalia activates its diplomatic efforts against the recognition of Somaliland. The Federal Republic of Somalia is experiencing a gradual recovery after a year of distractions and internal divisions. However, since last Friday, it has been facing a new crisis of unprecedented seriousness following the announcement of the Israeli occupation authorities of their illegal recognitions of the Somaliland region in the north of the country. According to the correspondent of the Djibouti radio and television in Somalia, this decision sparked a widespread anger among the Somali people, both inside and outside the country. Massive demonstrations erupted to denounce this project, which is considered dangerous, while the Somali government launched an intensive diplomatic campaign on the international stage to address this alarming development. The majority of countries around the world have expressed their support for Somalia's positions in defending its territorial unity and sovereignty. In this context, the sisterly and neighboring Republic of Djibouti played a pivotal role by providing decisive political and diplomatic support to Somalia during these sensitive circumstances. In this regard, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud paid an urgent visit to Djibouti the day after the crisis, where he met with President Ismail Omar Guelleh to coordinate positions and discuss ways to address these developments, given Djibouti's influential regional role in political and diplomatic affairs. Following his visit to Djibouti, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud traveled to Turkey, one of the Somalis' key supporters. In Istanbul, a joint press conference was held in which the two leaders reaffirmed Turkey's pivotal role in defending Somalia's unity and sovereignty, as well as confronting Israeli ambitions. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and Recep Tayyip Erdogan also announced the adoption of urgent measures to develop Somalia's maritime resources, including the launch of a planned oil exploration operations in 2026 after the completion of the necessary technical studies along the Somali coastline. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud stated that the Israeli recognition of this secessionist Somaliland region aims to destabilize Somalia and wider regions, accusing Israel of attempting export in its internal crisis in Gaza to the Somali arena. In a special interview with Al Jazeera, the Somali president explained that Israel has never been an active part nor had any historical relationship with Somalia, stressing that its announcement of recognition of the secessionist region came at a time when the Somali government is making intensive effort to reunify the country and enhance political stability. He pointed out that no country in the world has recognized the so-called Somaliland, noting for more than 3 decades the issue has remained an internal Somali matter and not a subject of external dispute. He added that there are no fundamental disagreements between the federal government and the regional authorities that would justify such Israeli interference. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud revealed that intelligence information available to the Somali government confirms that Israel set 3 conditions in exchange for recognizing Somaliland. resettling Palestinians in the region, establishing an Israeli military base on the coast of the Gulf of Aden, and the region's accession to the so-called Abraham Accord. He concluded by stressing that the Israeli decision directly targeted the stability achieved by Somalia over the past 2 years, noting that the international community has come to realize that Israel seeks to export its internal crisis to the Somali arena. Russia, Malaysia, and South Africa renewed their support for the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of the Federal Republic of Somalia. Russia announced its firm support for the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of the Federal Republic of Somalia following Israel's recent decision to recognize Somaliland as an independent state. At an emergency meeting at the United Nations Security Council, Russia's permanent representative expressed Moscow's concern over this decision, stressing that it violates international law and threatened to destabilize the Horn of Africa region. Russia called for resolving Somalia's internal dispute through inclusive national dialogue, free from any external interference, and reaffirmed its support for the legitimacy of Somali governing institutions in safeguarding the country's unity and security. For its part, Malaysia affirmed its full solidarity with Somalia as Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim voiced his support for Somalia's territorial unity. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim officially expressed the solidarity of his government and the brotherly Malaysian people with the Federal Republic of Somalia. This statement comes amid rising regional tensions in the Horn of Africa, reaffirming Kuala Lumpur's full commitment to Somalia unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. South Africa, in turn, described the move as a direct threat to the Horn of Africa. Its Minister of Foreign Affairs warned of the domino effect leading to fragmentation, reaffirming the African Union's firm commitment to the principles of the status quo, which ensuring the inviolability of post-colonial borders. The Somali heritage. This week, leading politicians, intellectual, and prominent figures in Somalia gathered in the city of Dushamareb. The Heritage Institute for Policy Studies invited members of the political elite, thinkers, and civil society representatives to a decisive discussions aimed at examining Somalia's relations with the world. However, the topics of Israel's recent decisions to recognize the independence of Somaliland, the northwestern regions that declared self-rule a decade ago, quickly dominated the discussions. This was not merely a principled condemnation, but a firm commitment to defending the country's territorial unity. This is a red line that we cannot allow to be crossed. One participant summarized a widely shared view. For them, recognitions of Somaliland constitute an attempt to fragment a nation already exhausted by years of conflict and to undermine the painstaking effort towards reconciliation and the building of the federal state. The impact of the conference extended far beyond the walls of the meeting hall, serving as a magnified echo of popular sentiment. Since the announcement, massive demonstrations have erupted in many Somali cities. In Mogadishu, Baidoa, and Kismayo, Somalis took to the streets waving sky blue flags adorned with stars. Their banners and slogans were unified, defending Somalia's unity and rejecting what they considered foreign interference. The Federal Republic of Somalia has officially assumed the rotating presidency of the United Nations Security Council for the month of January 2026. This historic step marks Somalia's diplomatic return to the international stage and places Mogadishu at the head of the principal international bodies responsible for maintaining international peace and security. Assuming this high-level position represents a significant elevation of Somalia's standing on the international scene, reflecting the growing influence of Somali diplomacy and renewed international confidence in the federal government's ability to lead complex geopolitical discussions. During this month, the Somali delegation will lead the Council's work, chair all meetings, and facilitate dialogue among the 15 member states on key issues affecting various regions of the world. As Council President, Somalia will be responsible for managing the Security Council's agenda, including organizing debate, adopting resolutions, and issuing presidential statements. These responsibilities come at a time of global challenges requiring wise leadership to address issues of conflict resolutions, peacekeeping operations, and respect for international law. Many diplomats views this presidency as tangible proof of Somalia's full reintegration into the international system as an effective and influential actor. It also provides the federal government with a strategic platform to contribute to shaping global decisions and advocating the sustainable solutions to security crises both in Africa and beyond. This term is expected to place particular emphasis on strengthening multilateralism and collective security mechanisms. And in Gaza, Israeli occupation forces launched artillery shelling today, Thursday, on various areas of their deployment inside the Gaza Strip. These attacks resulted in the destruction of a number of buildings in the area under Israeli control, including eastern Rafah in Gaza City, Jabalia, and Bani Shuhaila east of Khan Yunis. An Anadolu agency reported that the strikers targeted the eastern area of Gaza City in the north of the Strip, the Bureji refugee camp in the central area, and the eastern neighborhood of Rafah in the south. According to the same sources, the Israeli army carried out airstrikes and artillery shelling on the Zaytun and Shuja'iyya neighborhoods east of Gaza City, with explosions heard across the arena. The Israeli army continues to control southern and eastern Gaza as well as vast areas in the north of the Strip, occupying more than 50% of its total area. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, was warmly received yesterday by the residents of the Buya during the inauguration of students' housing for the region's primary and secondary schools. In the presence of the prefect of the Tajura region, Mohammed Humad Abbas, officials from the Djibouti Carbon Agency, senior ministry officials attends expresses great joy and collective gratitude to the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Gele. The residents of Buya and neighboring villages such as Madgul, Mudo, and Margoita also expressed their appreciation for the various initiatives taken to strengthen education, particularly the establishment of a school canteens. The importance of this educational facility is reflected in their commitment to girls' education and the development of educational programs from preschool through secondary level. The one textbook for every child programs was also praised as an important step towards equal opportunities. This initiative represents an educational system that not only enhances access to schooling but also ensures quality education. Local communities in the region now appear more cohesive and enthusiastic than ever in supporting this educational project, as clearly demonstrated during the ceremony, which featured traditional songs and dances alongside speeches by prominent figures.
tacliintan iftiintiya tayadan oogta sare gaadhay baahidiyo intii jahliga oonkii naga maydhay afkaartaadii samayd waa aragtidaadii horu soco ismaaciilada ku aydaynaye
The ceremony also highlighted the recent openings of students' dormitories equipped with modern facilities, including bunk beds for boys and girls, a spacious dining hall, and appropriate sanitary facilities. These dormitories were partially built with support from the Djibouti Carbon Agency. They are not merely places of accommodations, but symbols of the ongoing commitment to providing high-quality, accessible education for all. The inauguration of the dormitories comes as part of a broader initiative that also includes the launch of a school garden designated to meet the nutritional needs of the school canteen. This garden, a local initiative, promotes educational agriculture and raises students' awareness of the importance of sustainable practices. This effort aims to reduce school dropout rates, especially among girls in rural areas, by providing a stable living environment that supports academic success. After the ceremony, the minister devoted time to speaking directly with the local residents, strengthening dialogue between authorities and citizens. Each traditional leader was given the opportunity to present progress achieved and challenges faced by their communities in relation to the education system. The complaints raised were carefully examined, and the minister pledged to work towards resolving the issues presented.
la qaybsadaan aabihii qaranko mar kale ummadu waxay ku tiri mar kale tariixii afriko mar kale nagdaadihi ismaaciil adaa ku wareegaynaaye nagdaadihi ismaaciil adaa ku wareegaynaaye.
The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed Mahamoud, said this historic inauguration is not merely the culmination of infrastructure efforts, but also embodies the Djiboutian government's commitment to addressing the urgent needs of rural schools. Continued support for rural education launched by President Ismail Omar Guelleh is essential to reducing disparities and promoting social and economic development in the regions. This commitment is now reflected in modern infrastructure, innovative programs, and collective effort to ensure quality education for all. The African Saba Bank officially announced the launch of sales for the second phase of the Saba Siri Nagad real estate project. The first phase, which is nearing completion, continues to progress according to the established schedule. Listen for more details. South African Bank officially announces the launch of the sale for Phase 2 of the Saba Siri Nagad real estate project. Phase 1 currently being finalized is progressing according to schedule. The following video illustrates the progress of this first phase. We invite you to follow the ongoing constructions of the Phase 1 of Saba Siri Nagad through these images. In this first phase, the construction is nearing completion. Handover of keys is scheduled for the end of 2026. As you can see from these images, progress is proceeding very smoothly with the steady and controlled advancement. The Saba Siri Nagad project offers a modern villa tailored to the needs of today's families, combining comfort, functionality, and quality construction. Ultimately, the project will comprise a total of 3,000 homes, and 320 of which are included in this first phase, which is nearing completion. Saba Siri Nagad also stands out for its modern urban planning approach, emphasizing a living environment designated for the well-being and tranquility of its residents. The project incorporates green space, carefully planned traffic route, and an overall design that promotes safety and a welcoming atmosphere. The materials used meet the most demanding standards, guaranteeing optimal durability. The technical teams and engineers working on the site are continuing their work daily with a high level of commitment to ensure delivery that meets the expectations of future homeowners. The second phase, which is now on the market, represents another important milestone for South African Bank. It will address the growing demand for modern and affordable housing. This second phase will also offer new types of units and expansions of the project infrastructure. Saba Siri Nagad is thus establishing itself as one of the most ambitious urban projects in the country, actively contributing to the capital's real estate development and offering families the opportunity to become homeowners in a harmonious and sustainable environment. The Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Endowment organizes a religious awareness conference in the Sheikh Musa neighborhood. The Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, affiliated with the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Endowment, organized a religious awareness conference yesterday evening in the Sheikh Musa neighborhood of Balbala. The conference, which focused on self-accountability and self-evaluations, attracted a large audience of citizens and those interested in religious and intellectual affairs. The conference included the screening of a documentary film highlighting the grave violations committed by Israeli occupation forces against the Palestinian people, particularly in the Gaza Strip. The conference was chaired by Sheikh Abdurrahman Shamsuddin and Sheikh Abu Bakr al-Hosh, who emphasized the importance of every Muslim's in engaging in sincere self-accountability, evaluating their behavior and correcting it. Sheikh Abu Bakr Hosh stressed the importance of every Muslim's periodically review with their conscience to assess the extent to which their actions align with Islamic law and their sincere commitment to Islamic teachings. In his speech, Sheikh Abdurrahman Shamsuddin warned of the actions of the Israeli entity that violate international law and aim to destabilize the security and stability of the Horn of Africa. He stressed that these actions require collective awareness, strengthening solidarity, and close cooperation among the peoples of the region to confront them with wisdoms and responsibilities. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.